Hello and welcome. If you would ask most people about their job, they'd probably say it sucks. Well, in the next 5 minutes or so, we're going to help you determine if your job really does suck. We're going to ask you a series of 8 questions. Each answer will have a point value assigned. The more points you get, the worse your job is. Make sure to have a pen and paper handy so that you can keep track of your points. Oh, and if you get a really high point total, don't feel bad, it could be worse. You could have this guy's job. He's a crocodile dentist. Okay, let's get started. Please get a pen and a piece of paper. Number the paper 1 to 8 as shown in the diagram. The first thing we want to talk about is your commute. The more time you spend commuting, the less time you have to spend doing the things that you like to do. Look at the left side of the chart and find the time it takes you to get to work in the morning and round it up. For example, if it takes you half an hour to get to work every morning, give yourself 2 points on line number 1. If your morning commute is 45 minutes, round it up to an hour and give yourself 3 points. If you work from home and have no commute, write a 0 on line number 1. If your commute is an hour each morning, you should have given yourself 3 points, and your paper should look like this. Now let's talk about your type of commute. If you work from home and have no commute, write a 0 on line number 2. If you're commuting in style like this, write a 2 on line number 2. If you have an average commute like this, give yourself 4 points on line number 2. And if your commute ever looks like this, give yourself 6 points on line number 2. So maybe now your paper looks like this. Now if you have a lot of points so far, don't feel bad, it could be worse. You could have a job like this. Now let's talk about your boss. If you work for yourself and have no boss, write a 0 on line number 3. I haven't had a boss myself in 7 years and it's awesome. I'm going to show you 3 slides and I want you to pick the one that most closely resembles your boss. If your boss resembles somebody on this page, give yourself 2 points on line number 3. If your boss looks like somebody on this page, give yourself 4 points on line number 3. And if your boss is Satan himself, give yourself 6 points on line number 3. I actually had a boss like this once. Okay, let's talk about your vacation time. Look at the left side of the chart and find the amount of vacation time you get each year and round it down. For example, if you get 4 weeks vacation, give yourself 3 points on line number 4. If you get 3 weeks vacation, round it down to 2 weeks and give yourself 4 points on line number 4. If you work for yourself and can go on vacation whenever you want, write a 0 on line number 4. Now if you just gave yourself a lot of points, don't feel bad. At least you're not an elephant proctologist. Now let's talk about your salary. You may need a calculator for this one. If you don't have a calculator, just write in 4 points on line number 5. Take your salary and divide it by your age. Compare it to the chart above and assign the points accordingly. You may want to pause this video and get a calculator. Let's say you're making $80,000 and you're 40 years old. Your division would get you $2,000 and that would be 2 points. Again, you might want to pause this video and get a calculator. Enter your points on line number 5. Now if your salary really sucks, at least you're not this guy. Now let's talk about your work environment. I'm going to show you 3 pictures and I want you to pick the one that most closely resembles your office. If you work at home, give yourself 0 points on line number 6. If your office looks like this, give yourself 0 points. If your office looks like this, give yourself 3 points. And if you sometimes feel like a caged animal, give yourself 5 points on line number 6. Now let's talk about your coworkers. I'm going to show you 2 pictures and I want you to pick the one that most closely represents your coworkers. If you work at home and have no coworkers, give yourself 0 points on line number 7. If your coworkers look like this, give yourself 2 points on line number 7. But if they look more like this, give yourself 5 points on line number 7. Okay, last question. What would you do if you won the lottery today and you didn't need your salary anymore? If you would continue working, give yourself 0 points. That means you really like your job. If you would start making plans to leave, give yourself 2 points. I think that's what most people would probably do. If you would give your 2 weeks notice right away, give yourself 4 points. And if you would just quit immediately, give yourself 6 points. Okay, now it's time to add up your points. Add up the 8 lines and write the total on the bottom, like the picture above. You can pause the video if you want. If your point total is between 0 and 5, you have an awesome job. Congratulations. If it's between 6 and 9, you have a good job, better than most. If it's between 10 and 12, you have your average crappy job that everybody else has. If it's between 13 and 15, your job sucks. If it's between 16 and 19, it really sucks. And if it's greater than 20, it just sucks to be you in general. Now, if you have 10 points or more, don't feel bad. At least you're not doing this for a living. Thanks for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to tell your friends so they can see if their jobs